Welcome to the NYSE Big Startup, a show about unlocking potential, brought to you by NYSE and hosted by me, Guy Kawasaki.
What Glam does is in style, home, family entertainment, and then more recently we've launched food, so foodie.com, parenting, and also health and wellness. So we really behave very much like a traditional media company, with the big difference: we don't print any magazines and we don't do any television direct. So we do all our content is digital.
How did you build a team of 500 great people here?
As we know from history, just having great skilled people does not a great product make, because otherwise we would have more success. So the missing other two things that I found in my life that are very important, I really classify into two different groups. One is tone and attitude that you bring to the job, which is really falls into the area of you may be very good at doing something, but if your attitude is not one of collaboration or working together, you will not be successful, and you have to develop that. And then the third one is really over time. I also look at just your own development as a leader and your posture and all the things you take. So for me to build a great team, it's very important to build on all of these. So you've got to build skill, you have to build tone, you have to build posture, and then you have to have an environment in which great things can happen.
So you're familiar with NYSE Big Startup. How do you think the NYSE can help a company like yours or a technology startup?
For me, one of the biggest lessons I've learned that I think someone through this program can really help people with is, I really learned that the idea is more important in deciding what to do for each company than the other way around. So what I mean by that is if you're starting a company and you're growing it, you have to ask yourself the question, what does this idea want and warrant? Not what you, the founder or investor, wants or warrants. And I think, for someone like an NYSE, that's a very powerful place, because if you focus on ideas, an idea may say, I have to be a very large company to touch millions of people. Mm-hmm. Another idea might be, look, this idea is best suited one-on-one in very controlled environments. And I think that level of education would be very, very helpful, because people actually don't focus enough on asking the question, what does this idea warrant?
You have any mistakes that you made that you want to talk about, lessons learned?
I've started to use a word called the startup wiggle, and it visually and in the word has fully captured every startup I've been involved with, which is, you come up with great ideas, then you launch, and then the wiggle starts. And the wiggle is you kind of test this, no, that doesn't work. You go there and you wiggle, and hopefully you find the model. For us, really, the heart, which I've not really ever talked about, was embracing the change that had already occurred in the consumers' hearts. And that's an amazing feeling, because every company that actually doesn't embrace a consumer change that has already occurred is not believing in the reality of the user.
Any final points of advice?
I use an adage for myself that I want to only do things that I deeply love. Because if you deeply love what you do, a lot of the bull goes away, and you can really enjoy and put all of your heart and soul to it. So I always, ask myself the question, and hence can pass that forward, is, ask yourself the question constantly, do you really, really love and care about what you're doing? Because if you don't, you can still do it, but it won't come from the same place. Okay. So that's it.
Great. Thank you for joining us. Samir, a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the NYSE Big Startup.